Well, that's a great question. A sunscreen is, of course, a very important product for protection. And what determines the quality or the effectiveness of such product is basically the selection of ingredients and at the same time the resistance to wash off. So it's very important to consider that we have ingredients that can either block and reflect the UV rays and ingredients that can absorb and transform those UV rays into a form of energy. So this is what we loosely know as physical and chemical sunscreen agents. That doesn't mean that they are necessarily synthetic, by saying chemical. Now, the most important factor in, if I can say that, is the SPF. SPF is the number or sun protection factor, right? It's the number that tells you how long your protection will last on your skin. So basically, what happens here is that depending on the number, you are going to get more or less protection against UV rays. So this is usually a multiplier. So it depends on how long it takes for you to actually achieve redness or erythema and before you burn. All right? So the SPF factor is a number, and it's just a number that represents, the timing and the percentage in particular of the action against the UV rays. So typical numbers, are 15, 30, 45, and 50, etc. In the market, of course, there are certain numbers that go even higher, but that doesn't mean that they're more protective. In reality, what happens is that the SPF curve actually plateaus when it reaches a certain point. Usually, we know by the American Academy of Dermatology that sunscreens with an SPF of 30 would protect around 97 to 98% of UV rays. So there's still a very small amount of UV rays that can, penetrate the skin. But that's okay. When you go SPF 50, then you are protecting about 99%. So that gives you an idea that, the gap between 30 and 50 really is very, very small. And if you go SPF 70 or 100, in reality, you're not getting any further protection. I mean, you won't get much more difference than when you are on a 50 SPF. What is very important about sunscreens is that you must reapply once you go out in the sun, and especially if you submerge your body or you get wet or sweat, you need to reapply every 2 hours, especially outdoors and in these conditions, because it's known that the effectiveness of a sunscreen will start to go down after a couple of hours. So, it's all about that, but you need to research more.